CTV News with Ricardo, Veneza.
I believe the tariff on copper, we're going to make it 50%.
U.S. President Donald Trump is threatening a new round of tariffs today on a key Canadian material. Good evening. Donald Trump has announced more tariffs that could hamper Canada's economy even further. The president detailing a potential 50% tariff on copper, as you heard there, but not specifying exactly when it would actually be levied on American importers. Trump announced tariffs on pharmaceuticals as well, and that those could reach 200%, but would give drug makers about a year to, quote, get their act together. Now, the tariff on copper would impact the roughly $9.3 billion Canada exports to the U.S. every year. The latest announcement follows another tariff pivot from the White House we heard just last week. Trump's administration walked away from its pledge to reach 90 deals in 90 days with countries around the world, and instead, it will now send regular letters with new tariff rates. Canada appears to be spared from that, but trade negotiations continue toward a July 21st deadline. Now, a statement from Canada's largest private sector union says copper tariffs on Canada would be a direct attack on Canadian workers and another reckless move that threatens jobs, industries, and entire communities across the country. The statement goes on to say Trump's tariff justification doesn't hold water, saying there is no credible evidence that Canadian copper threatens U.S. security, and calls on Ottawa to respond swiftly should tariffs be applied. Meantime, Internal Trade Minister Chrystia Freeland met with her provincial and territorial counterparts in Quebec City today.
We are already starting to see Canadian businesses selling more goods within Canada as a result of the work that we have been doing.
And that's a meeting that comes a day after a think tank report warns breaking down internal trade barriers across this country won't compensate for the blow from American tariffs. Ottawa recently removed all federal trade exceptions. The government's new One Canadian Economy Act also aims to remove internal trade barriers, increase labor mobility, and fast-track nation-building projects, but faced fierce criticism for its fast-tracking through Parliament. A new report from Lasalle police shows a major shift on the roads, with calls for impaired driving climbing more than threefold from the year before. With more on the breakdown and some of the other concerning figures from police in that report, we're joined now by our Travis Fortnum tonight. Travis, what can you tell us on this?
That's right, Ricardo. Lasalle's Chief of Police, Michael Pierce, is about to mark 1 year in the role. And while the 2024 annual report only partially reflects his leadership, it shows some dramatic numbers. Police logged 87 impaired driving occurrences last year, up from just 18 in 2023. But Pierce says that figure reflects how many reports came in, not how many drivers were charged.
So that number reflects citizens calling police on what they believe to be an impaired driver. It doesn't necessarily turn out to be an impaired driver. Most of those are either unfounded or we didn't actually locate the driver. A lot of people, someone's swerving and therefore must be an impaired driver, and they phone us. We want to encourage members, our citizens, to phone us. It's okay to phone us and be wrong.
The report also shows a shift in how officers spend their time. Reactive calls when a citizen contacts police were up 12%. That left less time for proactive work like traffic patrols or crime prevention. The report also breaks down calls tied to intimate partner violence, with more than 200 registered in 2024, more than any other type of incident. Pierce says it's a widespread societal issue not unique to Lasalle.
As a society, clearly we can do better. The police, we can't arrest our way to a safer society. It's our job to do that, but really the inputs need to come sort of at the social level, at the base level. Us reacting to domestic violence situations is just that. We're reacting to it and trying to hold people accountable for it. We are not the solution to that. We are addressing a symptom.
The 2024 report also shows the service went nearly $460,000 over budget, which they say is due in part to staffing shortages and the complexity of some investigations. Pierce hopes to have next year's report include clearer, more consistent data to improve public transparency Ricardo.
Okay, Travis, thank you for that. Yeah, and also potentially a sign that more people are feeling comfortable to call in on both impaired driving and on intimate partner violence. That's CTV's Travis Fortnum tonight with that report. Well, also at Lasalle Council tonight, the next step in the process to fill the seat left empty after the passing of Councillor Sue Desjardins. Council unanimously passed a bylaw to officially trigger a by-election. Beginning Wednesday, nominations open for anyone hoping to run. Candidates have until September 5th to register. Voting will be done entirely online, running from October 10th through October 20th. Now, Council opted for a by-election instead of appointing a replacement, which will see the newly elected councillor hold that seat for about a year before the next scheduled municipal election, which is due on October 26th, 2026. And still ahead, the crackdown on rolling stops. Our Chris Campbell details why the need for the increased and targeted enforcement in Windsor. New accusations today have sent shockwaves through the Canadian military and public at large. 2 active military members are accused of plotting an anti-government militia motivated by violent extremism. CTV's Mike LeCouture reports.
We know that 2 of the accused are active members of the Canadian Armed Forces. Now, police allege 3 of the 4 have been planning to create a militia. And according to the charges, the plan was to forcibly take possession of land in the Quebec City area. With 83 guns and accessories, about 11,000 rounds of ammunition, and smoke grenades, police believe the group was ready to do something serious. A search in January of 2024 also turned up 4 pairs of night vision goggles and military equipment.
The fact that we could charge with facilitating a terrorist activity, that it means that people were actually preparing, were taking actions that led us to believe that they wanted to actually achieve something and wanted to commit this violent terrorist acts.
The RCMP has charged 4 people, and the Department of National Defence confirms 2 of them are active members of the Canadian Armed Forces. Matthew Forbes faces charges related to possession of firearms. Marc-Auriel Chabot, Simon Anger Odette, and Raphaël Lagacé are all facing charges related to facilitating terrorist activity. The terrorism charges span a period between 2021 and 2024 in Montreal, Quebec City, Petawawa, and Ralston, Ontario. Lagacé's friend of 12 years is shocked at the accusation that he would be trying to create an anti-government militia. It's quite the contrary, actually. He's very pro-government, very pro-monarchy, says the friend. Police say one of the accused created and ran this Instagram account, which was a recruiting tool for new members of the militia.
As soon as they start talking about seizing land, this goes to me to, I think about some of the militias operating in the United States that set up strongholds, areas where the federal government can't go, and try to really keep out law enforcement.
The 4 accused made a brief court appearance this afternoon in Quebec City, and all of them will remain in custody until their next court date, July 14th. Mike LeCouture, CTV News, Ottawa.
Well, in a Windsor courtroom, a Windsor police officer has pleaded not guilty to 4 charges tied to alleged sexual assault. Ken Price is the accused. His lawyer says Price absolutely denies any wrongdoing. CTV's Bob Belichico was in court and has this report.
Staff Sergeant Ken Price was in court today facing 4 counts of sexual assault. The charges stem from allegations by a female Windsor police volunteer who says she was sexually assaulted and harassed between 2011 and 2015. The complainant was on the stand recounting the first inappropriate act that took place. She testified Price needed help loading a gun. She didn't know how, and while being taught, the complainant says Price leaned over and told her she had a nice, tight rear end. She also told the court another incident occurred prior to a training exercise where she and Price were playing the role of husband and wife. He allegedly entered the room, got on top of her in a simulated sexual act. The complainant kept a notebook and acknowledged she referred to her notes when talking with Special Investigations Unit. Dan Scott, the defense attorney, suggested the woman did not write about Staff Sergeant Price acting inappropriately in her notes. She agreed and explained, "I did not want to keep revisiting it. I wanted it dead. I didn't want it alive. It was a constant trigger for me." The complainant grew emotional, saying, writing it down isn't as easy as writing it in your notes because there's this pain that's reinforced, trauma. So no, I didn't write it down in my notebook because I couldn't. I was incapable of it. In another incident, the complainant described another incident where Price grabbed her butt with force. When asked by Scott why she didn't react, she testified her body shut down. There was a witness, but she says he was not in a position to see the act. At one point during her testimony, the complainant said Mr. Price knows he did it, the service knows he did it, Peel Regional Police, a third-party investigator, knows he did it. Everyone knows he did it. Scott continually questioned the complainant's recollection of dates. He also questioned her complaint. The complainant says she couldn't say for sure what a witness saw during one incident, but stated his reaction acknowledged something did happen. Scott pointed out she told investigators the witness definitely saw what happened. The 4-day trial continues Wednesday. Bob Belichico, CTV News.
Well, now to Toronto, where we got a new look at ThermaCanada's plans for a private spa at Ontario Place. The company now says the complex will be smaller and will include a quiet retreat along the lake. CTV's Queen's Park Bureau Chief has been covering this. That's Siobhan Morris, and she has this report.
It's a colorful world of play and glee for the kids, tranquility and escape for the grown-ups. These are the updated plans for ThermaCanada's controversial water playground and spa in a reimagined Ontario Place.
The whole building is 25% smaller, and that's just sort of a combination of hearing feedback from community about concern about scale.
The pay-to-access facility taking over much of the West Island, part of a 95-year lease with the province. The design team is emphasizing 16 acres of trails, including on the roof, pavilions, and a new beach. But critics see this show and tell as revealing of something else.
Admitting that they're scrambling to put lipstick on this massive pig that they created.
Opponents had hoped for more greenery to replace what was removed from the West Island.
It'll take generations and decades for any trees planted now to reach the level of maturity of the trees that were already there.
The landscaper on the project says native plants are part of the vision and that the Therma complex won't block access to public spaces.
People will be able to understand that it's part of the larger Ontario Place. It is not separate from, it is fully connected to.
There's an attempt to counter criticism that what's going on the water's edge is a luxury spa.
This is the place for families to come, working families, to come and have a great day, whether it's in June, July, December, or February. And it's affordable.
With the target for daily admission set at $40.
It's our asset. It's our public space that's being given to them, and they're going to then come back and charge us for it.
And there's worry about more money getting involved.
30% of that land, they can still use that for their commercial purposes. So right now they say that's going to be open, but we don't know what the future is going to look like.
Therma says that clause is to allow vendors to sell food and drinks, maybe invite festivals in.
Construction on the Therma complex could start in earnest next year, but it won't open any earlier than 2029. At Queen's Park, Siobhan Morris, CTV News.
Meanwhile, Premier Doug Ford is looking to Alberta for help to build a railway to the Ring of Fire in northern Ontario. That, of course, is the mineral-rich region in the north. The deal is part of one of the memorandums of understanding signed by Ford and Alberta Premier Danielle Smith on Monday. The Premier has been trying for years to create a critical mineral supply chain which would connect mines in northern Ontario to processing facilities in the south. More now on a shift from the city and how it manages some of its parks and green areas. Mayor Drew Dilkens addressing complaints about the initiative to naturalize some park space to achieve cost savings and the environmental benefits. Dilkens telling CTV sister station AM 800 that the city is trying different options to see what works. He noted only underutilized park areas are being naturalized. Mayor says residents praised the naturalized look during the 2009 city workers' strike that saw grass go uncut.
It was a budget savings, a minor budget savings, I'll tell you. But now we're letting that happen, and we're getting opinions on both sides, where some residents are saying, why aren't you maintaining the park? And others are saying, gosh, I really like the portion that you're letting naturalize. It looks really nice.
And in Essex, the town is looking for feedback on what public transit should look like for the community. The town has a survey available wrapping August 1st, as well as an interactive mapping tool to suggest potential bus routes and stops. A report back to council is expected come the fall. Well, after the break, CTV meteorologist Gary Archibald joins us for a look at potentially some rain on the way. That's up in 2 minutes' time.
Those documents will give the Competition Bureau visibility into how Amazon operates.
And still ahead, Canadian regulators are putting Amazon under the microscope as the American retail giant is under new scrutiny for its business practices. Okay, CTV meteorologist Gary Archibald joining us now for a check of the forecast. Gary, noticeably more comfortable today after that intense heat over the weekend, and now we're in for some rain.
You're right about that. The trend was we'd get into temperatures that were a couple of degrees below seasonal over the last 24 to 36 hours. It has certainly been much more comfortable, especially through the overnight period where temperatures got down to about 14, 15 degrees Celsius. You didn't have to run your AC through the late night, early morning. Today's daytime temperature was only about a fraction of a degree above seasonal. So it wasn't a bad day. It certainly did warm up in the afternoon through the evening, but under, relatively speaking, benign characteristics. Atmospherically, we were talking about a stable air mass. So we're in the middle of a break and mostly clear through the overnight, at least to start. 12 a.m., 1 a.m. By 2, 3, we'll see increasing cloudiness, the encroachment coming from the west. And with that movement, we are likely to see some showers and maybe even some thunderstorm activity headed our way for the late morning, early afternoon, and then evening. That cold front could be the catalyst for those showers and thunderstorms we see bubbling up right across eastern Michigan into southwestern Ontario and southern Ontario proper. I think there's about a 60 to 70% chance of seeing at least an occurrence, one occurrence or more over the next 24 to, say, 28 hours. The rain will spread from west to east across the lower Great Lakes. It looks like at this juncture with this simulation, the heaviest bands lie further to the north and east of us here in the Windsor, Essex, Chatham, Kent area, but isolated thunderstorms through the afternoon, say around 4, 5 p.m., and then into the early evening for Wednesday could bring a lot more rainfall in terms of the tallies across the area. Overnight temperatures expected before dawn tomorrow drop to about 19 degrees Celsius. That's about a degree and a half above seasonal. So it's mild, but seasonal for this time of the year. Breakdown for tomorrow, as mentioned, showers and or thunderstorm activity. We could see some decent breaks. In fact, this is not a drawn-out affair, 24/7 type of deal here. But note, the potency of some of these thunderstorms in the late afternoon, evening could have you running for cover, no doubt. Thursday into Friday, temperatures close to 30 degrees Celsius. Some cloudiness and showers possibly on a cloudy Saturday. And temperatures around 30 degrees. That's the average daytime high over the next 6 to 7 days.
Well, losses in base metals weighed down Canada's main stock index. That's the TSX, as you can see there, down 117 points. The Dow also falling 165, while the Nasdaq climbed just 6 points. The Canadian dollar also losing 1/10 of a cent today to rest at 73.12 cents U.S. Gold down almost $26 an ounce, while oil is up 40 cents a barrel.
Discussion here at Windsor City Hall.
Windsor's top stories.
A major project is about to get underway.
Breaking news alerts.
Severe weather is a possibility.
And watch live.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us.
Download the CTV News app.
Start your day with the latest local news. By signing up for our newsletter, you'll get direct local content straight from CTV Windsor to your inbox, including top stories, the forecast, and videos. You can sign up at ctvnewswindsor.ca. Amazon is under new scrutiny over its business practices. Canada's Competition Bureau has approval from federal courts to investigate if Amazon's policies violate the Competition Act. CTV's Judy Trin takes a look at the potential impacts.
Amazon currently controls 40% of the online market. It's a retail giant that dominates e-commerce. The Competition Bureau is mainly concerned with the company's fair price policy, which it introduced in 2017, and whether or not Amazon is using that policy to abuse its dominant position. The Competition Bureau has obtained a court order to compel the e-commerce giant to hand over records and information so it can investigate 3 questions. 1, does Amazon charge higher fees to sellers, forcing them to pass on the cost to customers? Secondly, does it prevent sellers from offering lower prices on competing sites? And third, does its actions lessen competition overall in the online marketplace?
Those documents will give the Competition Bureau visibility into how Amazon operates and if there are any incriminating conversations or incriminating exchanges within its teams or between its teams and its stakeholders on limiting competition, driving prices up, all of the things that the Bureau wants to investigate.
Although the Competition Bureau is investigating, at this point, it's not alleging any misconduct. As for Amazon, it says it's focused on providing customers access to the products they want at low prices. Judy Trin, CTV News, Ottawa.
While big cuts could be coming to the federal government, Prime Minister Mark Carney has asked his cabinet to find savings by the end of summer. The Carney government will table its first budget this fall, and it's already facing criticism for spending promises which include increased NATO defense commitments. CTV News has learned ministers have been tasked with tightening their belts by finding 7.5% in savings for this fiscal year. The PM then wants those savings to increase to 10% in 2027 and then 15% the year after that. Police in Windsor are putting the word out. Officers will be cracking down on rolling stops across the city. CTV's Chris Campbell tells us the aim is to protect vulnerable road users.
Enforcement officers were out just after noon today at this intersection. The goal, to catch drivers who aren't stopping fully at stop signs, especially in high pedestrian areas.
Our traffic enforcement unit is finding that a lot more people are running through stop signs as well as rolling stops at lights, which is horribly dangerous, not only for themselves but for the other drivers on the road.
Police say the crackdown was prompted when officers with the Windsor Police Traffic Enforcement Unit stopped 8 drivers in just 3 hours Monday for failing to come to a complete stop.
All they have to do is sit there on that side and they can ticket all day. They can make a fortune here.
Neighbors here say it's become common to see cars barely slowing down at all.
Yeah, every day, almost. At least 60% of the cars don't.
They barely even roll. Some of them don't even slow down.
It's a problem, not just here. It's all over Windsor. You see it everywhere. But I don't think that people are going to learn anything without being monetarily dinged. And once they have to pay out, they're going to be like, oh, second thought at the stop sign. Maybe somebody's watching. I will stop. And then we're all safer.
It's a universal problem everywhere, as are not wearing seatbelts, drinking and driving, and a whole pile of other things that cause risk to lives.
Public safety analyst and former OPP commissioner Chris Lewis says rolling stops are not harmless and targeted enforcement can be effective.
Anytime police really put a focus on something that's risking lives, maybe taking the innocent lives of children on bicycles or whatever the case may be, that's a good thing. It's not all about laying charges. It's about educating the public and preventing injuries from occurring.
Windsor police say failing to stop at a red light has a fine up to $325 plus 3 demerit points. Failing to stop at a stop sign could cost $110 plus 3 demerit points, and careless driving could bring a ticket worth $490 plus 6 demerit points.
You have to stop at the stop signs. You have to stop at the stop lights. Again, safety is the #1 thing here. When you stop, make sure the way is clear. That rolling stops are not appropriate and will cost you.
Chris Campbell, CTV News.
Pure Country 89, Windsor's country music station. Pure access to the biggest stars and the hottest songs. Download the free iHeartRadio app to listen to Pure Country everywhere.
Okay, Gary is back with his 7-day wrap. And Gary, we're watching for some rain tomorrow.
You're right about that, Ricardo. Rain late in the morning could really start picking up with thunderstorm potential in the afternoon and evening for your Wednesday. Temperatures hovering around 27 degrees for Windsor, Essex, 26 in Chatham, Kent, and the surrounds for daytime highs, but really it's about the potential for some wet weather and some nasty bouts, some isolated thunderstorm activity. Thursday, more showers on a mostly cloudy day, high of 29. Then we're in the low 30s. Average temperature from Friday through to Tuesday of next week, roughly around 30 degrees Celsius. That would be about a degree or two above seasonal. The humidity will make it feel like the mid to upper 30s. We are going to see some rain. We need it. Some of the plants in the garden look stressed. You might agree. Wherever you are, enjoy your weather and be prepared to get wet if you're outside tomorrow. Have yourselves a good night. Ricardo?
Okay, Gary, thank you for that. Yeah, things have been a little bit dry of late, although that humidity has been there as well. Well, the Windsor Symphony box office has opened ticket sales for the new season. Tickets are available both online and at the Capitol Theatre box office, of course. Concertmaster Lillian Shyrick helped to sell some of the first tickets at the box office today. Fans can expect a season of diverse performances from the classics to more contemporary fare and, of course, some special guest performers as well throughout the season. Maestro Robert Franz is gearing up for her return to the Capitol stage in September. Shyrick says it's a chance to support and enjoy the musicians behind the music.
There's a special energy and emotion that comes with listening to people play. And in this age of AI doing everything, we have to remember that there's people that do that and they put their heart and soul into it and that they make it special. It's not something that can be computer generated. It's something that comes from our hearts.
Yeah, fantastic to have the WSO in our community. That is our time this evening. Thank you so much for tuning in, folks. We will see you again tomorrow at 6. Until then, I'm Ricardo, Veneza, and for everyone here at CTV on both sides of the camera, have a great night.